Hey everybody, this is Jewelyn. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to phase 4 of the Las Vegas collective. I am back for my last work week before I head to Africa next week. And I was debating if I was gonna bring a box of plants over because I am leaving the country, but I figured, you know what, I couldn't help myself. I wanted to bring over a few house plants because I'm more focused on cacti and succulents, being that it is Las Vegas. I do, as you see, have my ponytail palm and my dracaena here, which is doing pretty well. So I wanted to experiment with the Las Vegas collective and incorporate a few house plants, and hopefully they'll do okay. And then when I'm back at the end of the month, when I'm back from Africa, we'll check to see how the house plants are doing, and maybe I will incorporate more house plants, say maybe some sansevieras and maybe some a little bit more non-dramatic plants. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see what I brought over, and give this video a big thumbs up if you love seeing the Las Vegas collective and see me grow the collection here. It's nice to be able to take from the Santa Monica collection, and I know I share that all the time on the channel, that plants is a gift that keeps on giving. And that's one thing that I like about having such a big collection, that even though if I do take plants from the Santa Monica collective, it doesn't affect the collection because I'm either propagating from the mother plant or I have duplicates of the plant. So the first plant that I want to bring over is a sansevieria, and I was looking at the sansevieria collection and I didn't want to touch what was already in the studio or in the patio. So I went into my greenhouse to see what I was propagating. And that's the fun thing about plants, is when I do my planting with Jewelyn videos, if there is a section of the plant where I feel like I can take from the plant to either give, sell, or trade or propagate, that would be like the perfect timing for me to do that, because I have such a huge collection and a crazy schedule. That's gonna be my most perfect time for me to take from the mother plant. And the cool thing with sansevieria is that you can take it from the root ball and propagate that way, and so that you already have roots, or if you want, you can take cuttings. So let me share with you the sansevieria that I brought over. To bring over some of my greenhouse sansevieria, sayuri. I have a big mother plant, and luckily it still looks good. And I know when I did the planting with Jewelyn for this particular sansevieria from it, because it was such a big plant, and just in case the plant didn't do well in Santa Monica, I had some backup plants in my greenhouse. I probably have the same amount still living in the greenhouse that I didn't want to take. I felt like this was a good amount to start with. There's a bunch of babies as well growing in here, and I'm trying to remember when I purchased the mother plant. Definitely probably over 6 months ago, and it's doing really well. So hopefully this sansevieria will do okay in Las Vegas, just because this is not a common sansevieria, so I would hate to see it not do well here. So send some positive plant love and prayers that this sansevieria will do okay, because it is definitely uncommon in my part of the world. Sound off in the comments down below. Do you see this type of sansevieria growing and being sold in your city? It's nicely variegated. So this is what I decided on to bring for my first sansevieria to the Las Vegas collective, just because it was growing in the greenhouse and I didn't have to take from any of my mother plants that are already established in their planters. But I think had I have to take from any of my plants, it would definitely not be a problem, because sansevierias are very easy to propagate. So I think for now, I'm probably going to maybe leave it maybe here for now, and then we'll see how it goes. I think that's super cute already. What do you guys think? That looks really good. I decided to bring into the collection is my Pilea or Pilea peperomioides. This is one of the babies that I propagated well over a year ago. It's been living in Leka, and this has been living in my bathroom, and I decided to put it into this planter that I got from my local grocery store, and I have it transplanted back in. Because my mother plant is so big and I have maybe 1 or 2 more babies growing in the greenhouse, I felt okay to bring this house plant here. And if anything, if this plant doesn't make it with this environment, then I will maybe take from the mother plant. But right now, my mother plant growing in my patio is nice and full, and I want to just kind of keep that look. I know when I first got the plant, when it was really rare and expensive a couple of years ago, I was propagating from it, and then I decided, you know what, I just want the mother plant to just be nice and full. So this is one that I wanted to bring over to the Las Vegas collective. And you know, right now, because we're not sleeping here, I have all of the plants against this side of the room, but once we start sleeping here, then I can shift the plants into different parts of my room, which I've talked about in previous videos. So for now, oh my goodness, I don't know where I want to put this, but I definitely want to make sure that it gets some sunlight. So let's put it here for now, and then I can shift around other plants. And eventually what I would like to do is, when we are living in this house, I would like to be able to rotate them. Every time I'm here, we'll do like a quarter turn, and then maybe some shifting around so they get even sunlight, because this section, as you see, my shelf is not as much lighting compared to the rest of the shelf. But I'm working with what I have, and I think so far the plants in the transition of phase 1, 2, and 3 are doing really well. And also shout out to my mom for watering the collection while I'm in Santa Monica. And so if you watched in my recent plant hauls, I decided to rescue this Monstera adansonii from my local grocery store. It is in the most rough condition, and I'm gonna have to probably prune off a bunch of leaves, but I felt like this would be a good plant to experiment with. And because I already have the mother plant, if you guys watching previous planting with Jewelyns, I didn't feel like I would be stressing out if this didn't make it, and it is a rescue. So we'll see how this grocery store rescue does, and I wish it luck. I do see a new leaf here, and then this planter is also from my local grocery store. So I'm just going to probably just put it up here for now, just so that it can get some sunlight. This philodendron, I have two big mother plants of the bipennifolium panda, and it's just long and trailer. You guys see the channel. One of them is now living in my studio, growing crazy by my one window that doesn't bring much lighting. And then the other mother plant that I have is by my fountain, and they're big and crazy. This particular propagated section fell off because of just the heaviness and the length of the plant. So I try to not touch my mother plants unless I'm going to sell a cutting from it. Then I'll take from it. Otherwise, I try to not touch it. But this has been living in Lecca for a while, and I said, you know what, why not just try bringing this over. I have two huge mother plants, so this is one more that I want to incorporate to the Las Vegas collective, and it'll just live here for now. During the collection the other day, I was looking at my aeoniums, and I wanted to bring over this turtle planter, and in it has some beautiful aeoniums, and I already have one just like this with the same plant in a different planter. So I said, you know what, and actually it's a lot smaller than this, but because I like the look of how it is in this white turtle planter, I decided to bring this one over. It's very established in here, so hopefully it likes living indoors, because it's been living outside in front of my Santa Monica studio. And this has been with me for a while, and I'm trying to think, I think I only have one aeonium here, which is my crested one. So let's leave this one here on the bottom, and they're just all gonna just share. So in my part of the world, the philodendron Birkin, I feel like is still kind of rare, but you kind of see it pop up here and there in certain parts of California. I have definitely not seen this plant in Las Vegas. I have two, so I decided to bring my original one over just to experiment, and hopefully it does well, because it is still somewhat rare in my part of the world, but I wanted to give it a try just because I have two. So let's see what I can do here. You guys watch my latest plant haul. In my latest plant haul, I scored these white plastic saucer trays from Daiso. And if you guys are not familiar with Daiso, it's just a very inexpensive store that you can find everything. It's Japanese. And in my part of the road, everything is $1.50 unless it's marked a little bit higher, which can be $3-4. These were $1.50 each. So I bought it all out. I think there's only 10. 7 stayed in Santa Monica, and I just brought 3 over. And I'm going to probably use it for the plants up here that doesn't have a saucer built into the planters. So like my Senecio and my Euphorbia and my Opuntia on the top. So I'm just going to place these under here. And that is going to wrap up phase 4 of my Las Vegas collective. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the handful of plant babies that I decided to bring over this time around. And this is just temporary housing. They're all just kind of be grouping here. And then once again, like when we're living in here, and I can shift plants around. But so far so good, and I really love the progress of building the collection. So if you love seeing the transitions of the plants moving from Santa Monica to Vegas, picking and choosing certain ones, comment down below what was your favorite plant that I brought over so far, and what do you think about the choices of plants that I am incorporating into the Las Vegas collective, because I'm really being picky and choosy. I know like this time around for phase 4, I am taking a gamble bringing some houseplants in, especially some plants that are rare. So this is just a little gamble for me, but I thought it'd be interesting to bring different types of plants and experiment. So give this video a big thumbs up, and hopefully by the time this video goes live, I can kind of see how the plants are adjusting to living in this environment. And I look forward to doing phase 5, and we'll see what I bring next. But I definitely want to try to find maybe some common trailing house plants, like some pothos or something like that, where I can have on the top there, which I know I talked about in phase 3, where if it doesn't do well, I'm not gonna get super upset because they're common and I can always easily replace them. But we'll see, and that'll probably be at the end of the month when I'm back from Africa. So give this video a big thumbs up. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing a little update of the Las Vegas collective, and I look forward to bringing more plants into this space. In the middle of my work week, wrapping up my last work week before I take this big adventure, and I just knew I wanted to hop on here in the middle of my work week to share with you what's going on with my little plant life here in Las Vegas. And I'm glad I was able to make some time. I'm dancing tonight, I danced last night, and the night before. I have 3 more nights of dancing, so it's always nice to take a little break and come to plant life and give a little love to the main channel. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you're new, welcome to the channel. Subscribe for daily uploads between the main channel and the vlog channel. You get a video each and every day. Aloha from the 9th Island, Las Vegas, Nevada, and the Las Vegas collective. Bye. Quick little overview. So pretty.